Welcome back everyone. Today we need to look at a really controversial situation developing right now because the staff just announced a change that is causing a lot of outrage from many developers. If you look at the recent updates regarding safety and privacy, Roblox is introducing something called scope user IDs, and this completely changes the way that users are tracked and identified when they join a game, and makes it a lot more difficult for how developers will be able to handle this. While the corporate executives are trying to sell this as a huge W for user privacy, the actual people who build and maintain games are pointing out that this decision is going to create a huge security nightmare. So we need to talk about exactly what this update does behind the scenes, and why so many developers are generally terrified about what it brings moving forward. Now we have to look at how the entire platform functioned up to this point. Every single account created on the website has always been given a unique global number ID that stays with that account no matter what game they play, what items they buy, or where they go inside the ecosystem. This number is the main thing used for saving data, tracking player progress, and managing server moderation across different games. The new policy states that for any new player joining a game, they will no longer display that global number to developers' backend systems, and they will instead receive a random ID that only exists within a one specific game. The staff argues that this is necessary to protect player privacy because it stops third-party tools from tracking user habits across multiple games and building secret data profiles on kids, which helps the company look good to outside regulators. But when you look past the corporate PR talk, you start to see the severe consequences this has for practical game security. Ever since the start, pretty much every well-established game has relied heavily on shared ban lists on moderation networks to keep malicious users away from innocent players. If a known exploiter, scammer, or dangerous EDP, for example, is caught ruining a server in a major game, the developers can flag the global ID and share it with a network of other games so that the bad actors automatically blocked the moment they try to cause trouble elsewhere. Under this new scoped ID setup, that entire safety net is completely ruined overnight because the scammer will have a brand new identity in every single game they go into. A developer tracking a malicious user in one game will have no way to warn another developer in a different game because the numbers will never match up, which effectively gives bad actors a permanent shield to move from server to server without ever being caught by the community. And this creates a very dangerous situation for game safety because everyone knows that a platform's AI moderation is often slow and fails to catch exploiters before the damage is done. Many developers have spent a lot of time coding their own custom security setups to fill those gaps and keep their player bases safe from bad actors. So by cutting off access to global IDs, they're essentially taking away the best tools that developers have to protect their own communities. And that's why you can see a lot of people on the forum post pointing out that this does a major disservice to user safety because it prioritizes the corporate appearance of data privacy over the actual and physical protection of kids inside the games. The system makes it almost impossible to run an effective anti-cheat network, which leaves servers way more vulnerable to constant disruption and bot raids that ruin the experience for everyone who plays those games. And if you thought it couldn't get worse, the logistical side of this update is a really huge nightmare for anyone running a large studio or a connected universe of games under a single brand. Whether developers trying to ensure a player keeps a special rank when they join a separate game, or an admin trying to track a scammer's punishment history across a network of places, the global ID is the only thing tying that data together. For example, one of those developers on the forum mentioned that an admin product they developed is currently tracking over 1 million game data records and 21,000 punishments using a global ID system. With scoped IDs, tracking a player across these completely different games becomes a complicated mess that requires a total overhaul of the background database code because the system will think they're a completely new person every time they join a new game. The platform staff admitted that this is a major transition and promised to release a special account linking tool and a new corporate ban system by August to help fix these exact issues before the update becomes mandatory in October. But developers are very upset because the corporation is basically forcing them to completely rebuild their perfectly functioning databases from scratch just to comply with this new rule, and it means creators have to pause all the actual content updates for their games and spend the next few months rewriting their security tools and data networks just to prepare for a corporate rollout they never even asked for. A lot of other developers are pointing out that the platform simply chose the lazy option that hurts legitimate creators the most, and because of that, you have developers who invest thousands of hours and real financial resources into building their games only to have their security tools broken by a sudden policy shift with zero prior consultation about this. And it all makes people look at the future of the platform with a whole lot of anxiety because literally nobody knows which basic feature will be suddenly taken away under the guise of safety standards within the next few months or probably even the next week at this point. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I'll see you next one.